Life is a lot like a poker game. Players put down their money and take a chance at either winning the jackpot or losing their shirts. There is both an element of luck and skill involved, but essentially it all comes down to what you're willing to risk. Let's back things up a bit and examine the people who simply watch the game. They're not willing to put the risk involved to see what happens. And that's where the metaphor ends. If life is really like a game, then the key difference would be that you really don't have a choice in whether you want to play it or not. It's one big table and everyone has a seat. But that difference doesn't mean that there's nothing to risk. In fact, I think of life and risk as the same thing. Everything about life is a risk. You could get into an accident or become ill at any moment. These are the everyday normal kind of risks that you often can't avoid. However, it's the risks you have to actively search for and make a part of your life that matter most. They can bring you pain if they go wrong, which is the biggest reason people avoid them. But they also make life worth living when they go right. With that said, here are 12 risks that everyone should take in life. 1. Risk taking the road less traveled. The road less traveled is a scary road to take. It hasn't been worn in by previous footsteps, so getting lost is a cinch. The brush has never been trimmed or tended to, so you're likely to get caught on a branch and stuck in places for a while. The roads less traveled haven't yet been mapped out, and therefore, the only thing you really have to go on in hopes of reaching your destination is your intelligence, your logic, perseverance, and a bit of luck. However, the road less traveled has much richer plunders. You risk never getting there, but once you do, it's well worth your trouble. As a golden rule in life, if the reward is bigger than the risk, always take the risk. 2. Risk getting turned down. That girl at the bar, any girl at the bar, might turn you down. The same goes for whenever you are asking anything of anyone. More often than not, we get turned down not because of us, but because of the individual that is rejecting our request. It doesn't matter whether you are trying to get someone's number or asking them to pass you a napkin. You'll always meet that jerk who will refuse to even pay you any attention. Because we hate being rejected. Our ego's at it again, we often fail to even ask. If you don't ask, then you won't be answered. If you don't ask, then you're basically still getting answered no, but you yourself are moving any chance of receiving a yes. 3. Risk not getting the job. You won't always be the best qualified. You won't always be the smartest, brightest, or best fit for the job. And there will also be times when you are best suited for the position and you still get turned down. That's simply the way life is, but you still need to put yourself on the line and risk being turned down for your dream position. Oftentimes, people get hired simply because they seem hungry and seem like they'll get along very well with the rest of the team. Experience isn't always the determining factor. Risking not getting the job is the same as risking actually landing it. 4. Risk putting it all on the line. If we do things right, there will be a time in our lives that we will have to decide whether or not we want to put it all on the line and roll the dice. My suggestion is to do so and to do so earlier on in life. The later you risk losing everything, the more difficult it will be to bounce back. The biggest rewards often require the largest risks. Just be smart about it and make sure you know exactly what you are risking and exactly what you would be getting as a reward. 5. Risk missing out in order to achieve something greater. The fear of missing out, or FOMO among generation, is real. We don't want to miss out on parties, get-togethers, chill sessions, festivals, concerts, nights out on the town. We're afraid that staying in and getting some rest will make us miss out on something huge or life-changing. Think about this. You've been making sure that you haven't missed out on anything for years. How many of those experiences actually made a positive change in your life? 6. Risk not being good enough. There's always a chance that you won't be good enough. Again, isn't that something that you'd like to know? The fact is that you're either good enough or not good enough. Often when we think we are good enough, we actually aren't. This is important information to have because it informs you how much more work you need to put in before you can succeed. But you will never know if you're good enough if you don't risk not being good enough. 7. Risk losing friendships. Friendships can be great, but they can also be very restrictive. Following our dreams usually involves quite a bit of solitude. Friendships make it very difficult to take the time that you need to get the work done that needs to get done. In my opinion, true friends should support you and your dreams no matter what. They should understand that you may have to distance yourself a bit more and then work together to keep the friendship alive, even if you don't see each other half as much. 8. Risk launching too early. We often wait until we perfect our product, regardless of whether it's a physical device or service or our very selves, before we put it on the market. The truth is that no one comes out with the perfect product or service the first time around. In fact, the perfect anything depends on the feedback that you receive from others. This feedback only comes after several iterations of testing. If you wait too long to launch, then you are missing out on critical learning. 9. Risk admitting that you don't know. Not knowing is not something to be embarrassed about. There's a very fine line between knowing and not knowing. For example, 1 second, you can know absolutely nothing about a topic, and then 2 minutes later, after someone explains something to you, you instantly know something new. It's crazy. And it only took a few minutes and not seconds. Knowledge is the easiest thing to accumulate, but only if you ask questions and risk admitting your lack of knowledge. 10. Risk forgetting regret and try walking away. No matter how high up the ladder you've climbed in the business world, you should always feel like you have more to give and more places to go in your career. And if that happens to be a new job or career for that matter, then so be it. So, no matter how much time and effort you've put into your career this far, you should never be afraid to walk away and try something new, because you're still working towards the future and the overall betterment of yourself, your career, and your business. 11. Risk taking charge of your own life. When someone has a decision to make, the easy thing to do is ask someone else for their opinion and go with that. The difficult thing is to make the decision yourself and own it. By doing this, you take back any power someone has over you and keep it for yourself, where it belongs. This can really help you in your life and career because you will be stepping up to the plate and taking responsibility for your success and your own decisions. This can also help you move up in the business world and help you earn the respect you deserve from other people and businesses. 12. Risk confronting your fears. By confronting your fears, you are able to show that you can stand up, take control of your life, and say no more. By knowing and facing your fears, you will realize what has been holding you back and keeping you from reaching your full potential, which just might be becoming the boss or the CEO. This can be done by taking some time away to think about what you want to achieve and what might be getting in your way. Remember, it's rare to get things right the first time, so you should never be afraid to take risks or fail in the first place, because not confronting your fears is perhaps the biggest risk of all. To all our viewer and subscribers, taking risks are a beneficial way for you to improve yourself, your career, and your business. This is because without them, you won't discover anything about yourself or be able to progress or build the dream life you want. Do you think taking risks is important? Share in the comments below.